Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we are reading from Daily Reflections, page 107, the reading for April 8th, an inside look. We want to find exactly how, when, and where our natural desires have warped us. We wish to look squarely at the unhappiness this has caused us and others and ourselves. By discovering what our emotional deformities are, we can move toward their correction. That is from the AA 12 and 12, page 43. Dang! Emotional deformities. Can I hear an amen? Just kidding. That's like the most grotesque description of myself, but it is so accurate that I just love how blunt the AA 12 and 12 is. I'm going to read the reflection. Today, I am no longer a slave to alcohol, yet in so many ways, enslavement still threatens myself, my desires, even my dreams. Yet without dreams, I cannot exist. Without dreams, there is nothing to keep me moving forward. I must look inside myself to free myself. I must call upon God's power to face the person I feared the most, the true me, the person God created me to be. Unless I can, or until I do, I will always be running and never truly free. I ask God daily to show me such a freedom. Okay, my mind's going in 1,000 directions, but I first want to talk about emotional deformities. Because this idea of being warped, our natural desires being warped, is 100% on point. And it's part of the work that I do with coaching. And so I really want to talk about it. We have desires, and they are good. And you've heard me say before, we always choose what we believe to be in keeping with our greatest good. Meaning, like, we always choose what we think is going to make us happy, is good for us. You know, and those two kind of go together. And so it's wounds that happen, it's things that happen, it's incorrect associations that we make, wrong connections and interpretations that skew what we believe is good for us. So like in my disease, I believed for some reason, because this is what I chose, I believed that eating certain things to a certain extent was for some reason like the thing that I needed, the thing that was going to bring me peace. And it did the opposite. So that's an idea. So that's a very clear example of my natural desires being warped. My natural desire said, you need to eat that thing. I want to eat that thing right now. And what it led to, if I could play the tape through, was misery and unhappiness and the cycle of compulsion and addiction and not being able to stop and slavery, not freedom. Excuse me. We believe, we all long to be free. That is a good desire. And we misinterpret often, I think, with our disease, this idea that freedom comes from getting to do what I want in the given moment. But what I learned in my disease and my compulsion is that actually enslaves me if my desires are skewed, if my desires have been warped. And it is the work of the 12 steps. And it is the work, really, you get really into it with coaching, of starting to untwist and reshape those desires to first see where your desires, what they are, where they're coming from, where they're leading you, and then to start to do the work of straightening them out. And it is a lot of work. And for someone who's not in misery, the motivation might not be there. But that's like the gift of desperation, the gift of being in addiction and knowing that pain is that it can give you the motivation and the desire to do this work. Because this is what's going to bring you to freedom from your substance of choice, and internally freedom to rest in who you are and who God made you to be. And who doesn't want that? It's so freeing and it's so beautiful. And so our emotional deformities, yeah, I mean, you think of, you can't see them the way that you can see a physical deformity. And it's very obvious when you see a physical deformity, you're like, oh, that's not supposed to be like that. That's a deviation from the norm. And so our emotional deformities, we see them with the results that come from them, the actions and the interactions that result in pain and low moods and chronic depression and difficulty with relationships, the bedevilments, really. Can't hold a job. We couldn't control our emotional natures. I just want to read those again and again and again, because every time I read them, I'm like, yeah. And I'm like kind of still there in a lot of them. And I'm like, oh, that's humbling. It is. It's a good work, because the end result is, it's so satisfying to breathe easier and to live in that freedom of emotional rightness, of self-command, of self-mastery, of self-possession. All these terms that mean that you, the inner you who God created you to be, is in sync with your Creator, which then we talk about aligning our will with God's will. I think we talked about that yesterday. And it's that we're not killing our will. We're not quashing our desires. We are realigning them. We're straightening out the bent parts and the twisted areas. And what you'll find is, as it straightens out, your will, your desires are in line. They're going into the same stream as the desires of your higher power. And so you don't have to work against yourself or just white knuckle it to be like, okay, Lord, your will, not mine. It becomes one and the same thing. And it's beautiful. And I want that for you. And I want that for me. So I'm going to keep doing this work. And I want you to do it too. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you're here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.